Hey sexies, and welcome to your timeless pick a pile reading with me. My name is Bren, and today we have 5 different piles that you can choose from for your specific reading for today. And although this is a reading that's taking place during the Sagittarius full moon, it is a timeless reading. So anytime that you're seeing this reading, it is meant for you. So make sure you take the messages that resonate, leave the rest. If your pile isn't quite resonating with you, feel free to pick another one and we can begin. So the theme of this lunation, this full moon in Sagittarius, is look at the bigger picture. So this is what we're being invited to do. Again, regardless of when you're watching this video, thinking about the bigger picture is really the main theme of what Spirit really wants to get through to you right now. So, all of the little things that go on in your day-to-day life, that might bog down your mind and like, hey, there's so much that needs to get done. Like, how am I going to make all my ends meet within the time frame that I have? And Spirit's just saying like, okay, well, what's the bigger picture? What needs to be what needs to be prioritized right now? And what doesn't? Because whatever needs to be prioritized is going to get done, and whatever doesn't. Think about the bigger picture. What is your bigger goal? What is longevity of your project or the goals that you have in mind right now? That's really what the theme of this entire reading is going to be. And if you are a Sagittarius, this reading's extra special for you. But remember, you have all different signs in your chart at one time. So even though you might not have Sagittarius placements, you still have Sagittarius somewhere in your chart. So keep that in mind. This is going to impact you in some area of your life regardless. So another card that came up to me right as I was getting ready for this reading was Juno. Juno is an asteroid goddess, and Juno is associated with commitment. That's the main line that I want to get to here. So you can look up on your birth chart astrologically where Juno lies, and that might give you a little bit more information on messages that Spirit wants to provide to you right now. But just in the grander scheme of things, what you want to be asking yourself is, what am I committing to? Right? And another thing that's on here, it talks about relationship renewal and regeneration. So who are you committing to as well? So how are you committing to yourself within a connection, and how do you commit to other people? This is about, it's the goddess of marriage. So who are you married to, literally or symbolically? And that's kind of what we are going to dive into today. So those are the overall messages for all groups, but now you will be able to pick which group that you want to dive into. I'll show you the cards and each crystal that it's associated with. We'll start with this yellow, brain kind of symbolism, and that's with the Peacock ore crystal. So if that yellow is resonating with you, you want to pick that card. We also have this sprout, like a dark card that has a little sprout coming up, and that's associated with Carnelian. And then we also have this heart card. So it's reddish pink. I would say it's actually pink. Pink with a heart. And then it's associated with, I picked this crystal for it, which is orange calcite. One of my favorites, orange calcite. Then group number 4 is the die. Or dice, if you want to make it plural, but there's a die on here, taking a chance, rolling the dice, and that's associated with the Prehinite crystal that I have here. It's the healer's crystal. And then last but not least, group number 5 is going to have that graduation cap. It's blue, so if you're drawn to that color or that symbol, you can pick this group. And it's also got this sodalite. No, it's not sodalite. My apologies. This is Lapiz Lazuli, okay? They're both communication stones, so blue. So from here on out, pick your group, and I'll see you there. Welcome, pile ones. You are a pile 1 if you picked this yellow card with a little head on it. And the back of this card says, where are you still carrying old pain? How can you let it go? These are questions that Spirit really wants you to just ponder as we go through this reading today, because this is what is going to give you the answer that you are looking for within the reason why you're here. So where are you still carrying old pain? How can you let it go? The interesting thing too is that this was paired with the Peacock ore crystal, and peacocks symbolize like flaunting your stuff, really letting yourself shine. So this could be maybe a pain that you're experiencing around feeling seen or being able to shine, you know, things like that. Yellow is also associated with joy and happiness, playfulness. So, you know, do you still have maybe some pain regarding like having fun or having permission to have fun? Those are things that we can think about as we draw some more cards. We're going to be drawing from this death. Ooh, so maybe there's a death coming. And again, don't be scared about death. Death can just be an ending, right? So the death of a job, maybe you lose a job, but you know, with every ending comes a new beginning, you know. Maybe your singlehood dies, but the birth is a new relationship, you know. So death isn't always bad, but there definitely is something ending within your realm right now that you really need to let go. Otherwise, it will keep you from stepping into this new chapter that is bright and waiting for you. So this pain, whatever this old pain that you're still carrying, it is something that needs to be left in the past. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to fully enjoy what the universe is trying to bring you at this time, which is really exciting. It does seem like a new beginning, but you know, anytime we lose something, you know, it brings up a lot of different questions. And, you know, Spirit's kind of advising me to, like, some people who are watching this might actually literally be experiencing a death, and that's never easy. So just now's a great time to honor the life that had, whether it was a person, a pet, or a thing, you know, that you're losing. And just keep in mind that there's always, you know, love is the greatest denominator with suffering, right? So we only suffer because we love so much. And so when loved ones die or things that we got accustomed to go away, you know, that actually fills us with appreciation, because it's like, oh, we realize not everything is set in stone. Not everything's going to last forever. So keep that in mind as you move forward. Now, this deck that I'm using is very unfamiliar to me. It is a tarot deck, but it is a newer deck that my friend's letting me borrow. And I don't know what this card is, but it really is giving me Hierophant energy. So Hierophant is like the spiritualist, someone who can connect humanity to spirit or God, however you identify, right? So this is about honoring tradition and also honoring change. So it's really hard to balance both, right? So this is just saying, I feel like for you specifically in this reading, the message that you need to hear is that you do not have to be who you used to be. You are not confined to how you used to be defined, whether that was by yourself or by people within your community, how they're defining you. This is saying, like, honor what worked, honor what is tried and true, and surrender the rest. You really don't need to keep all of the too much structure. The Hierophant card is a religious card, but how I'm seeing it is just like, how can you honor yourself as the god, goddess, godex that you are? You know, how can you find that honor and find that divinity within yourself, within your humanhood? Because we have to honor, we are human, and we are going to make mistakes, and we are in these smelly meat suits. You know, you're human. And also you have divinity within you, which is trusting your intuition. So this to me is really saying, like, people have, like, society has imprinted on you values and belief systems, all these kinds of things. And it's your job to now sort through, okay, what of that is true to me still now in this place that I am in my life, and what do I actually need to let go? You know, I have to think about pride and like queerness, because it is Pride Month at the time of recording this. And again, timeless reading, you can listen to this at any time. But with that, it's just like, you know, a lot of people, especially back in the day, thought that queerness was wrong and sinful and all of these things. And that was a tradition at one point, and it still is in some parts. But what Spirit is trying to get you to acknowledge now is that things can change for the better, and, you know, being more open-minded and accepting of things that are weird or different from what other people are doing is really, a path to your future, honestly. Like you can be a trendsetter or you can be ahead of the curve if you just allow your intuition to speak to you at this time, for sure. So that's what you have there. And then we're opening the chicken. This is the first time I'm getting to open the chicken for like in a really long time. So what is the chicken? What is the chicken? The chicken contains good luck charms, right? So I'm just going to I'm going to mix them up and randomly pick a good luck charm for you and see what good luck is coming your way. And we have this like clay, I believe it's clay made fang. It's like an animal tooth of some kind. Very interesting. So I find it interesting within the context of this reading, especially because it's not authentic. Like it is handmade, but it was created to appear like something real, I guess, like a bone. Yeah. So in context to this, like I would say that your good luck is coming from foraging your own way. This is very much like fake it till you make it. Because honestly, I know that it's probably the camera's not picking it up that great. My apologies, but it looks pretty real. It looks like, probably for you, this looks like a real tooth. And even for me, it looks pretty real. So this is fake it till you make it energy. This is the time that you really need to be investing in your confidence, investing in your intuition. This is about trusting yourself first before other people. Now, you can definitely get advice and, wisdom from outside sources, people that you trust. You can definitely ask a friend or a therapist, whoever, for advice on whatever's moving through your life right now. But just know that ultimately, at the end of the day, ultimately, you're the one who feels your soul's calling, and you're the one who really feels certain things. So I'm getting an example right now of like going back to your ex, right? So maybe all your friends, and this is maybe not the best example, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. I don't want any of those Delulu babes out there to be like, oh, Bren told me that I need to get back with my ex. And it's like, no, I'm really not saying that. This is an example. And you use your real intuition, not what you desire, like Delulu land, but use your real intuition to decipher like what part of this message is for you. But anyway, so for example, if say you broke up with your ex and you're kind of rethinking about getting back together because maybe they kind of picked up their, shit. They fixed some behaviors or whatever. They're doing better now. And you're like, okay, I want to give this another chance. And all your friends are like, I don't know, like you already ended that. There's no point in going back, blah, blah, blah. But in your heart of hearts, you're like, I hear you. And at the same time, I just feel like I need to give this person another chance, then follow that, and this can be with anything. This could be with career. This could be with I'm seeing it for relationships specifically, a relationship. So it could be a sibling. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but really about stepping into doing what's right and maybe setting some boundaries too, right? So, bones are associated with Capricorn. And Capricorns are earthy. They're very much about climbing the ladder. They are goal oriented. They want to start stuff they want to start things only that are, that are sustainable. So this is a time for you to really ask, which of my relationships are sustainable? Which relationships do I need to commit to? Which relationships do I need to set more boundaries with? Because I'm telling you right now, there's at least one person in your life that is energy vampiring you, and you might not even realize it because you kind of enjoy their energy, or maybe it's vice versa. Maybe you're kind of using each other or something. And again, it doesn't have to be maliciously, but there's someone in your life that needs more boundaries, and that could be you. You might need more boundaries with you. Be fucking for real. We're here to grow and help ourselves. So that's another thing my friend Lily said to me recently that really resonated with me, is that we're usually in two stages of life. One is growth, which is uncomfortable, or we're in a state of comfort, right? So You know, when we're growing, it might feel uncomfortable, but hey, we're expanding, things are changing, there's new excitement, things like that. Whereas when we're just comfortable, you know, it's nice to be comfortable. And also at the same time, is that what you really need right now? Is more comfort, you know? And I feel a little bit like this reading is yelling at me. I'm like, this one might be for me too. But yeah, so anyway, to sum everything up, remember, we're talking about commitment. We're talking about looking at the bigger picture. That's the overarching theme of this entire reading. So just remember, who are you committing to? And how are you committing to yourself first? You know, we always got to put our oxygen masks on first before we assist others, right? And then the question that you have is, where are you still carrying old pain? How can you let it go? If you do have a chance to journal about this, or even you can leave a comment if you want to do this in a community setting, this healing, you're welcome to. I see a lot of honesty being kind of brought up. And sometimes when we put light on our shadows, it can be really blinding. You know, if you think of like a dark room and then all of a sudden you have a spotlight on you, it's like, holy hell, like this is uncomfortable. I don't like this, but your eyes will adjust. That's what Spirit's saying. Like, you're in a movement right now of life where you're entering a really big new chapter. You've got to sever some of this old stuff that's keeping you in the past. Whether that's like your physical environment, you can remove literal things in your life. You can, donate some clothes or something, get a new wardrobe. You know, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can do a clothing trade or whatever. But you need some new energy. And a good way to do that is like by literally manipulating your surroundings and just being like, oh, that was old me. That was the old me that was showing up. Now, new me has the chicken in the middle. You know, the good luck chicken in the middle. Old me had it here. Whatever it is, just having these subconscious reminders like in your environment that will remind you, oh, I'm in this new era. Hierophant might be a card that you want to meditate on. I definitely recommend that if you would like to. It did come out upright. And additionally, your good luck charm is this tooth, animal tooth. I wish I knew what animal it was. I'd have you look into that too. But again, your good luck is coming from you holding your ground, you sinking your teeth into something, right? It's when you sink your teeth into something, you take your time, right? You're going to enjoy it and really process what's going on, sinking your teeth into it, you know? Don't let it get away from you. Like, really sit with it. That's what's going to be bringing you good luck. I hope that these messages served you. Again, my name is Bren, and I'm so thankful to be giving you readings on Fortune of the Fool. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, I would love that, at Fortune of the Fool, or my personal account at BrenBigs. I also do pole dancing, and I also do personal readings. So if that excites you, check out my offerings in the link in my bio. Thanks, y'all. Hello, group number twos. You are group number 2. If you picked this black card with little sprout coming out and your carnelian crystal. So what's on the back of this card, you might be asking? It is a prompt for you to answer. It says, what is keeping you up at night? What is keeping you up at night? That is something that Spirit is wanting to communicate with you at this time. So now is a great time to evaluate. If you're not, again, all of these kinds of readings they can be metaphorical. So if you're like, I get great sleep, nothing's keeping me up at night. It's like, how about you think a little bigger, a little more metaphorically? We don't have to take everything so literally. If you are literally staying up or like being kept up at night, definitely it's literal for you. But again, like sometimes to use our intuition, we have to tap into the subtleties of language, subtleties of signs, things like that. Spirit can communicate with us very subtly, and if we're not paying attention, we'll miss it. So anyway, this question, what's keeping you up at night, should resonate with you on some sort of level. And if it doesn't, feel free to pick a different pile. But this could be about your dreams. This might be a signal from Spirit just inviting you to Pay attention more to your dreams at this time. Maybe start a dream journal. Dream journaling is such a great way to get tapped into your subconscious and bring that subconscious into consciousness, which is so profoundly impactful to living a more enjoyable life from my perspective. Then you're not like, you're not acting so subconscious. You're like, why is all this stuff happening all the time? It's like, because subconsciously you wanted that. Or again, that could be a whole philosophical thing, but we're not getting into that whole thing. But yeah, so that's something that you're going to really want to ask yourself. And maybe that's a journal prompt that you can write before you go to bed, or you can even write in the comments if you want to use the community as a helping point for you to discover what Spirit's trying to tell you. You're welcome to do that. And it's interesting that night is coming up at this time as well, because I'm just feeling a lot of shadow work for you. Like there's a lot of shadows that you're uncomfortable with, and you've kind of been forced to see some of your shadows or the shadows of other people, and you're kind of like, what do I do with this? Or are you, everyone's going to behave differently when it comes to shadow work. Some people like to escape. So like, if you're kind of faced with shadow work and you're trying to avoid it, just know that it's going to get louder, and it's going to come to you whether or not you are wanting to see it. So this is an invitation, like, hey, let's be conscious. What is keeping you up at night? What is keeping you from, like, what's making you anxious? What is keeping you from doing what you need to do? Let's address the root of that, so then we can pull the weeds, from the root, get rid of what's not serving you, and then we can have a pure plot of land for you to grow what you actually do want, that you want to harvest from later. Again, this is all metaphorical. Great. Just want to be sure. Okay, I want to talk about this carnelian that you picked too. If you were drawn to this carnelian specifically too, one of my favorite stones. Carnelian is associated with the planet Mars, which is action, drive, anger, war, severing, sex, lots of different things it can symbolize. So if any of those particularly resonate with you, you can pick that up. But this is about using your energy towards, I hate to use the word productive because rest can be productive. So when I say productive, I'm not meaning like go get that grind hustle mindset, I'm really saying like, what's actually productive for you in this moment? Do you need to rest? Do you need to lay down for a nap? That is productive. This is saying that your energy is being wasted a little bit in certain ways. Like maybe you're overthinking a project, or maybe you're spending too much time online, or, there could be a lot of different ways that you're spending energy, and Spirit is just like gently nudging you and saying like, hey, it might be time like to start putting your energy in places that are not going to feel like just time sucks, or not productive, not good for you, basically. If you're going out, like what's keeping you up at night? If you are going on benders all weekend, for example, like drinking all weekend, and then you show up to work on Monday like so tired and dead, it's like, are you really serving yourself doing that? I'm all about, like, again, this is a Sagittarius full moon reading. We're all about partying here. We're all about having fun, having a good time, maybe going a little hard. But again, like there has to be a balance somewhere in that, because you might be, just you're not using your full potential. This is a little this is very shadowy. So I'm sorry if this is a little intense, but it is the message that you need to hear right now. If you're here, you do need to hear that. Like maybe now's a good time to evaluate where all your energy is going, and how we can maybe put that in places that feel a little better. So another thing that I'm feeling, Mars is also the planet of anger. And if you're someone like me who doesn't really feel comfortable expressing anger, and like either puts that inwards or just ignores it until it gets so big it explodes, and then it's like a bigger problem, that's something that needs to be addressed right now, because you don't want something blowing up in your face. Let me tell you that. So this could also be like, there was like a specific example that came to me about like energy usage. Oh yeah, like if you're angry, if you're feeling really intense emotions, instead of like, you know, you could go for a run. Like, you could do the exercise route, which I definitely feel like Spirit is recommending you do some sort of physical movement right now, whether that's yoga, stretching, even if it's five minutes a day. We're all about commitment, right? That's what this reading is really talking to you about. So it's like, are you committing to yourself and your body for the long haul? Like, and for your health? Like, are you moving your body? Additionally, with the energy thing though, if you're feeling really angry or you're feeling really intense emotions, you could exercise, but you could also channel that into something productive, channel that into some songwriting. I'm feeling a lot of artistic energy from this group. So like channeling your energy, like maybe you create an art piece, or maybe you just like burn stuff. I don't know, like whatever's going to make you feel like that energy is going towards your growth, towards your success. That is going to be really useful for you, because that's going to be a great tool that you can then use in the future. Like anytime I'm angry, like I know that I have these in my toolbox, that instead of like going and punching my cousin's wall, you know, I don't know where this comes from. This stuff, sometimes Spirit is like so funny. Instead of punching a wall, you're going to go write a song. You know, some of the best pieces of art were made under distress and strong emotional movement. And that's another thing that Spirit is wanting to tell you at this time too, is that your emotions manifest everything in your life, pretty much. I mean, you know, there's fate. We could go into that again. I'm feeling this Sagittarian, like philosophically, like, but we're not getting into that again. You have your belief systems, you keep them, whatever, explore as you wish, but ultimately, just know that your emotions manifest things. So if you're feeling emotionally volatile, you might bring in more volatile things. Again, this isn't to say, this is telling you why it's so important to channel this energy somewhere, because it could get really messy or cause issues somewhere else if you don't consciously channel this energy somewhere it can go, you know, whether that's a workout or art creation. But there's energy coming from you, and it's highly emotionally charged. So just know it's a great opportunity to channel that into something that could really help you in the long run. So keep that in mind. All right, what card do we have for you? Interesting. This is a deck that I'm not that familiar with. I'm borrowing this from my friend Sean, and this is an Italian tarot deck. And to me, it doesn't say that I can see right away, but it does look kind of like a King of Cups energy. It also looks like, I'm getting Chariot energy. I don't think that this card is either one of those, actually. It could be, but I'm gonna say it's like King of Cups, which is like one of my personal favorite cards recently. I really see that as my Saturn return card. King of Cups, my Saturn Pisces. So depending on when you're watching this, this is June 2025 as we record this. So Saturn just left Pisces and is now entering Aries. So this is the Aries Martian energy, right? And this is that Pisces energy. So this is saying to you that you have a lot of wisdom that you have gathered in the last 2.5 years, and you're being tested. Like, for you specifically, I'm feeling a lot of like, okay, you reap what you sow, you make your bed. Do you like what you're lying in? Do you like what you set up for yourself? This is very much, I hate to say this, but it's bootstraps energy. And that's very Saturnian, like, oh, you're not where you want to be. Well, you got to pick yourself up. And, we're not going to get into the complications of that either, because not everything you can control, definitely not. And people who are worse off or whatever don't necessarily deserve it. We're not getting into that conversation. But what this is just inviting you is like, how are you making your own bed, and what are you doing to get you into a more comfy bed? Because there's a dissatisfaction or something going on here for you. Because again, your original question was like, what's keeping you up at night? What is something that you're just not addressing that's literally coming for you? It's not going away. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not. It's going to keep haunting you until you address it, and it's going to keep getting louder and louder and louder. And what Spirit really wants to say to you is like, take control where you can right now. So then you actually do have a little bit of control over things rather than it getting so bad that you just have to deal with what you're dealt, you know? So don't you worry though, because now we're going to get the good luck chicken and see what good luck charm is being honored by your group and what is bringing you good luck. So as we open the chicken, basically I'm going to pick randomly a good luck charm. Ooh, I think I have one that, oh my God, it's like a little donkey. It's so tiny. I bet you can't really even see it. I'll have to like, yeah, take a picture or something and like show you. But I find that so funny. So the good luck that's coming for you is your hard work will pay off. This is a work, like working, and it can be about literal work as well, but you know, any work that we put in, even chores on a day-to-day basis, that's work, right? So, but your hard work will pay off. I think this is so cute, little burrow. But again, it's slow and it's not very, like I'm imagining this donkey like in the hot sun carrying like wicker baskets full of stuff that you're just like so tired, but you're taking one step at a time. You're going where you need to go. You know that you're fed. You know that you're getting the water that you need. You're getting taken care of. This is also a pet. Like someone's taking care of you, but also it's reciprocal, right? You have to do your duty, and other people will do theirs, right? And if people are not pulling their weight, your good luck will also come from setting boundaries with them, being like, oh, I'm not getting what I need out of this commitment or this connection. And so now I need to set boundaries. And now my load is heavier because I'm not carrying mine and Deborah's stuff. I'm just carrying my stuff, you know? So this is also, I'm feeling for some of you, emotionally based. So some of this is like, some of you is going to be like physical labor, like actually, that's very much what I'm seeing as physical labor of some kind. That's where that exercise might come in. But for some of you, I do see it's like emotional labor. Like you keep carrying maybe your friend's emotional burdens, and it's just like, okay, Deborah, I don't know who Deborah is, but if you're Deborah watching this, I'm sorry, this is not about you. Or maybe it is. But yeah, it's just like, okay, Deborah, it's time for you to get a therapist now. I love you and I love being your friend, and I also can't be giving you advice that you're not even taking all the time. You know, it's exhausting. So overall, remember, we're looking at the bigger picture. What's your big dreams, your big goals, long term? Where do you want to shoot your arrow? Where do you want it to land? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to travel? You know, what are your belief systems? Who are you committed to? Are you committed to yourself? Are there renewals that need to come for certain relationships? What is keeping you up at night? Is it a good time maybe to start dream journaling or looking back at some old dreams and try to figure out what the symbolism of your dreams are trying to tell you? Because again, dreams are an amazing portal to your subconscious. So don't ignore that. That's literally a free tool that you have at your disposal every day that you can use. This is saying to King of Cups energy is like, be the ruler of your own emotions. You know, like what lessons have you learned in the last few years that you're now ready to implement and show like, okay, I did learn these lessons. I don't want them to keep happening. So I'm going to put my foot down, especially when it comes to setting boundaries, emotional boundaries with people, because you can be very compassionate and loving towards someone and also have boundaries. You have to teach people how to treat you. And if you are letting them walk all over you, you're not stepping into your powerful King of Cups energy, and you're going to suffer for it. So just know that's in your hands. Like if you keep running into these situations, you need to do something about it. You know, you need to have conversations that might be more challenging with certain people. But it will overall, it'll make or break the relationship. If you're scared of having a conversation with someone, that's good information to have, because it's like you care about that relationship. But if you're afraid of what might happen, maybe you don't really entirely trust that person either. So that's something that it's like, wow, I'm really scared that Deborah is going to be really mad at me when I set this boundary with her. It's like, well, if the boundary is reasonable, that's Deborah's problem if she's going to have an issue with that. And maybe if you're scared of losing that relationship, maybe that's not a relationship that you want to have. Because if Deborah's going to get mad at you and be like, oh, you're not going to be my therapist anymore, like, I just don't see how we can make this friendship work. It's like, okay, well, bye. You know, that sucks. And I'm hurt by that. And also, if you're not the kind of person who can accept feedback like that, then you're probably not a good person in my life right now. So just know that anything that you might be losing at this time, especially relationship wise, probably for the better. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But also be ready to repair first. Don't go immediately to like, I'm cutting you off. Try to have a conversation about it. And again, this is all about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Make sure you're working out, taking care of your body, putting your emotional energy somewhere productive. And then your good luck is just keep up the hard work and you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. If you take those steps, even if it's slow, you will be rewarded. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it serves you in exactly the ways that you need at this time. My name is Bren, and I am so honored to give you these readings. And if you would like a personal reading, you can connect with me through the information that will be linked in the description. Yeah, so thank you so much, y'all. Hello, my group number threes. You are group number 3 if you picked this cute little heart card, pink heart card, and this orange calcite. And so what is on the back of this card is a question that you must answer, which is, when are you most unhappy in relationships? So it's really interesting. You picked the very relationship oriented card. There's that heart there. It's pink. Pink is associated with the heart chakra. So I'm feeling a lot of activation here with your heart. When are you most unhappy in relationships? And some of these readings have kind of been intense today, so just be prepared if some shadow stuff comes up. But, as we're, the overall theme of this reading is about commitment, right? We're talking about how we commit to ourselves, how we commit to the relationships in our lives, the projects even that we commit, and also how are we looking at the bigger picture within the grand scheme of where we're at right now. So for you, there's something about your relationships that's screaming at you to step up into your confidence, right? So orange calcite is very much a solar plexus stone. And if we're talking about the solar plexus, that's about our desire. That's what lights us up. That's our fire, things like that, right? So, you might be in some relationships that are feeling unfulfilling right now. And this can be any kind of relationship. It does not have to be romantic, although it definitely can be. But Spirit is wanting you to ask this question to yourself. When are you most unhappy in relationships right now? Because there's something that could be addressed that can make your relationships feel a lot healthier, a lot more comfortable, and happy. So, in any relationship we're in is going to have some sort of conflict or nothing's perfect, right? And we do have to concede sometimes, and we do have to compromise sometimes. And at the same time, Spirit's telling me that in at least one of your relationships, you are over compromising on something and there's an imbalance. Or maybe the other person's over compromising and you're not aware of it because maybe they're not communicating it. Or maybe you are aware, but you're like, well, that's their stuff. If they want to overgive to me, then that's on them, and just know that there is like a delicate balance of like taking responsibility for other people's stuff. Like you definitely don't want to take responsibility for other people's stuff, but also if this is someone you care about and you're noticing a pattern of behavior within them that you're like, this doesn't seem sustainable, that's something that you as a mature person should probably address. Even if it's not your beef or it's not your thing, that's something that you can shine your light on something, especially if someone else is struggling with their confidence right now. You have the gift of confidence right now. So I would take it and use it for the betterment of not only yourself, but everyone. Spirit's also like inviting me to talk to you a little bit about relationships in general. Like specifically, just know that not all relationships will fulfill all your needs, and that's okay. It's just to be aware of what relationships are for what purpose, right? So I'm sensing that some of you might be in a romantic relationship, and again, take what leaves, or take what take what resonates, leave the rest. But you might be in a relationship where you are putting a little bit too much on the other person to fulfill your needs, or this could be vice versa, right? I'm seeing like a relationship, like a romantic relationship where you're like, oh, we're together, like you're supposed to be my one and only and my everything, my soulmate, and it's just kind of like really unfair to your partner, and that's what's leading to some unhappiness. And again, this can be any type of relationship. I'm also seeing maybe like a mother-child relationship where this is happening. Some parents are really over-doting to their kids because they just don't want any suffering for their kids and all that stuff. But that actually doesn't build resilience in the child, and that doesn't set your child up for success. So just know that, or sometimes some kids feel responsible to parent their parents, and just know that's there needs to be some sort of balance. There's an imbalance right now that needs to come to equilibrium for things to be healthy and happy. So the card that you got looks like the Chariot. This deck I am unfamiliar with. I am borrowing this deck from my friend Sean, and it is from Italy, and I really wanted to use this deck for this lunation specifically, this Sagittarius full moon, because Sagittarians are all about travel, and so this is, you know, from a different part of the world. And you literally picked, or the card that came out for you is the Chariot. I also think it might be Knight of Pentacles that's giving me that energy. We'll talk about both. That's my favorite thing about card reading, is they can mean so many things, even within the tradition. So, but this is a solitary energy. I'm seeing a solo figure. Okay. So the thing that's imbalanced within your relationship, whether it's, no matter what relationship it is, this is definitely about at least one of your relationships, is emotional imbalance and or financial imbalance or material imbalance. So that could even be a service, like if you maybe cook all the time for your roommate, that might be an imbalance because maybe your roommate doesn't do the same for you, or doesn't even like bring you groceries or anything as a thank you, like doesn't do anything. Or maybe you're the only one cleaning the house, and I'm seeing the service, and that's weighing on you emotionally. There's like a few different energies that are kind of coming through, but it's mostly about using your emotions as a tool to take material action. That's the main thing here. So, if you're feeling unhappy, which there's something you're unhappy about, if you don't say anything, it's going to build up and you might explode, or it's just going to lead to more unhappiness, right? So what this is encouraging you to do is, listen to your emotions, really sit with them. Like, they might be uncomfortable, like, oh, I'm so mad that Sherry didn't wash the dishes. Like, I've asked her so many times to do that, and she can't even do this one little thing for me, whatever it is. Once you've kind of like sat with your emotions, really felt into it, getting to the root of it, then you can take action, be like, okay, Sherry, we need to have like better boundaries within our living situation, because I no longer want to cook for you. We've already had this conversation before, yada, yada, yada. This is, insert your scenario here, but there's something emotionally that's really bothering you emotionally about someone, and you might have been really passive about it because it might feel small to you, or you're like, oh, I already had that conversation, so I don't want to have that conversation again. But just letting you know, your emotions are so intelligent. You got to listen to them. And if you're bothered now, you don't want it to escalate, especially if you're juggling, like I'm sure you are, like work and all these other things trying to find time for all the people you love in your life. So some sort of action does need to be taken, it's saying. So that's why it's really good to get to the root of like, what are you most unhappy about in relationships generally? Then look at like who specifically in your life might be contributing to this, because you might have someone in your life who kind of has the same pattern, but it doesn't bother you as much as maybe this other person that does the same thing. You want to get to the reason why, right? So maybe you don't mind making dinner for Lily because Lily makes you dinner too, or, you know, does XYZ, or washes your dishes, whatever, whereas Sharon doesn't, you know? So it makes more sense to cook Lily dinner than Sharon. You know what I mean? So your energy out of all the groups that I've done so far feels the most itchy, like unsettled, uncomfortable. It seems like there's probably something that you need to do that you might be avoiding. Relatable, don't worry. It happens to the best of us. So this is just saying, like, rip off the Band-Aid. You got to just have these hard conversations. Like, it might be time to do that. And you have the confidence to do it. You're ready. Because also, I feel like the right people will honor you and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, what else can I do to repair this relationship? And the wrong people won't. And then you'll know, like, oh, these are the real ones. This is maybe someone and then this is someone I don't want to hang out with as much, you know. Setting boundaries. Boundaries have been coming up a lot for this reading too, which makes perfect sense because at the time of this recording, Jupiter and Saturn are squaring. So Saturn, the planet of restriction and rules, things like that, authority, is having a tense moment with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and philosophy and fun. So there's like restriction versus fun. It's like, or like expansion. So it's, I use this analogy all the time, but it really is kind of like the gas and the brakes are on at the same time. It's like, what are you going to do with that energy? How are you going to move that in ways that will feel aligned for you? But I do feel a distracted energy from you too. So if you are maybe trying to escape a little bit too much, that's something to keep in mind. You do need to have a good balance of play and structure, you know, work and play, I guess. But even when you're playing, it seems like it's more escapism and not like fulfilling, recharging. So if you're just like maybe doom scrolling on TikTok or something, at the end of the day, Spirit's just saying like that's actually making you more unhappy, and it kind of sucks because that might be your relief, but it's doing more harm than good. So now might be a good time to reevaluate how we can recharge you in a fun way that also doesn't take away from your health, your mental health specifically, and your emotional health. So with all that heaviness said, we're going to open the chicken bowl. What's in the chicken bowl? Chicken bowl has good luck charms. Good luck charms. I'm going to pick one at random, and this is going to tell you, what's bringing you good luck moving forward. Aww, you got a little sheep. It might be hard to see. This is my camera setup for now, so sorry you can't see it closer. Maybe I'll take a picture or something and upload it. I don't know, but your good luck is going to be coming in the form of using what you have to make the most of where you're at. So like I see like a sheep as like a symbol of abundance in a certain way, because like the wool, right? It's wool that they grow. The wool that is grown on their skin can be made into, well, money for humans, but it's also like it's a material product that has significant purpose. So there's tools at your disposal that have some significant purpose that you can tap into at any time. It's just you know, like you have this unique talent. I'm seeing like, you know, no one can replace you because you're the only you, right? So it's really about tapping into those unique things that make you you, and using those tools to get you a little further. I'm also seeing this as like going with the flow kind of energy. So although you're supposed to be taking action at this time to have these maybe harder conversations about boundaries or like just things that are unhappy within relationships and how you can maybe meet in the middle or have a win-win situation of some kind, all of these tools you have within you. So just know that you're also supposed to be like kind of going with the flow of that, because you cannot control how other people respond to your requests of, you know, equality, right? So you could say, hey, I'd like for you to do the dishes on Tuesday, if that works for you. You can't control if your roommate's going to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's like, oh shit, well, but you can control boundaries, like, okay, well, that said, now just know that all of my dishes I'm going to keep in my room, and you're not allowed to use them anymore. So, you know, it's just like a consequence for their actions. It's like, oh, that sucks that you don't want to do that, and this is now what I'm going to do for myself to keep my sanity, and so I have dishes when I need them, you know. And I'm also not going to be cleaning anyone else's dishes, especially if they are not going to reciprocate, you know. Reciprocation's really important. I think that's part of your good luck as well. So all in all, remember, we're really focusing on looking at the bigger picture. You know, a conversation that you have now might seem really scary or like intimidating, but remember, in the long run, it might create an even healthier relationship that you can build upon. So, or it might get rid of a toxic person in your life that you don't need anymore, and that's pretty nice. Also, just keep in mind who you're committing to, how you're committing to yourself first, advocating for yourself first. You can't really truly commit fully to someone else unless you commit to yourself. So keep that in mind. Keep this question in mind, which is, when are you most unhappy in relationships? That's a really good topic to keep in mind for you at this moment in time. And keep things moving. Go with the flow. This is a slower, yeah, it's like, it's like fast, but it's slow. So the things that are coming at you fast, deal with them. It's kind of like, I'm seeing like a game of Pong or something, you know, sometimes like the Pong then gets like more balls, right? So it's just like, sometimes when you have more balls, you're like, oh my gosh, which one do I focus on? It's just like, make sure you just keep one, like focus on one. The extra is extra, but if the extra gets lost in the chaos, let it, you know, just focus on the tried and true ways of doing things. So, and you have the confidence. Remember, you have it within you you deserve happiness, and you have it within you to achieve it. So do it, and lean on your community to help you get there too, because, you know, it does take a village. So thank you for enjoying this reading. Well, I hope you enjoyed this reading with me, Bren. I do also one-on-one professional readings, astrology and tarot. So if that entices you, I have more info about how to book with me in the show notes. And from there, I just wish you all the happiness that you desire. So thank you for watching. Hello, group number 4s. You are a number 4 if you picked this dice card, and if you picked this Prehinite healing stone, a very, very sacred stone. So I'm eager to see what Spirit has in mind for you for today. So every card does have a question on the back that I invite you to answer. So it says, if you could, what's the one thing you would change about your past? Ooh. This excites me, this question, because at the time of this recording, again, this is a timeless reading, but you can listen to this at any time. But at the time of recording, the planet Jupiter, about expansion and philosophy and growth, just entered the sign of Cancer, which it loves to be in. Cancer is about nourishing and the home life and hospitality. So it's just kind of interesting because it's also associated with the past sometimes, Cancer. Also the 4th house. I feel like I'm like getting like so many. It's like, how do you translate a feeling, you know? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. You might have some feelings. A lot of feelings. That actually makes perfect sense with Jupiter. Jupiter like expands things, right? And Cancer is very emotional. So it's like lots of emotions coming up. So if you're experiencing a lot of emotions right now or in the recent past, then this reading's definitely confirmed for you. So if you could, what's the one thing that you would change about your past? This is something that you want to ponder and reflect on, maybe why you chose this reading for this time for yourself. What messages are you looking for? And I believe it was at the very beginning where I did say, you know, we aren't who we were. We don't have to be defined by the people that we used to identify ourselves as. We're constantly evolving and changing. I mean, if you are in a growth path, some people don't change as much, but the world will change around you regardless. So, you know, this is just like a question inviting you, how can we heal some of the decisions that we've made when we were maybe less informed or more immature, or yeah, because a lot of times people say like, oh dang, I should have known better, whatever. And it's like, yeah, maybe you did, but also you made that mistake for a reason. So maybe you didn't really know better. I feel like spirit really wants you to be a little bit more kind to yourself. You might be moving through something right now that feels, yeah, you're just being hard on yourself about a decision that you've made, or maybe even just pain around your upbringing. There's a lot of childhood energy that's coming up, or even like your inner teen, that, you know, things happened that you want to heal. Because again, you did pick the healing stone. Woo. And this is one of my most sacred crystals. And so just know that within your energy, you being drawn to this group does signify like an energy of desire to heal, which is interesting. You might also resonate with like maybe group number 2 if you're feeling called to listen to another reading after this, maybe group 2, because there was a lot about shadow work within that might be beneficial to you. Those messages might be helpful to you as well. So just reminding you, we are talking about commitment, and commitment to yourself, commitment to all versions of yourself, past versions of yourself. Even if you are mad at your past version of self for doing something, it's like, that's still you, it's still a part of you. And how can we honor that version of you and, you know, take accountability for sure, but also not be so hard on yourself that you influence the future to a point where, or like the present to a point that's not serving you, you know. Look at the bigger picture. Remember, that's the point. Oh, wow. So the card that you got, the clarifying card, it is a tarot deck, and it is from Italy, and it's a deck I'm less familiar with, but it looks like it's a 4 of Swords. I'm getting 4 of Swords energy, which is all about rest, especially resting the mind. Swords is all about that active mental energy, right? So I'm feeling like you might be experiencing a regret of some kind. You're in your head about something. And Spirit's like, take a break. It's time to take a break. Maybe getting more into your body could be helpful for you. Maybe doing like breathing meditations or yoga, or even just stretching. Those are all ways that could be helpful. I'm feeling kind of sad. Like this energy is like, yeah, a little dark. But again, like, there's no such thing as like good or bad necessarily within these. It's just like, yeah, it's less pleasant to be sad than happy for sure. And at the same time, there's so much value within that feeling. So just know there's nothing you can do to change your past, actually. You can think about it. We're pondering it, right? That's your group's task. But I'm just seeing for you that there's nothing that can be done with your mind now. It's not like you can think things differently. You really can't. So there's no point in doing that. You're wasting your precious energy. And Spirit wants you to take a break, rest your mind, and so you can focus your energy elsewhere, like on the future. You seem like to be maybe locked into the past of something, and it's less about, oh, I wish I would have done this differently. It's more about, okay, well, from that lesson, from that experience, what can I do now moving forward? Because I bet the mistakes that you made in the past, you probably won't make again if they were bad enough. You're like, oh, I will never do that again, you know? sometimes that's how we learn our most salient lessons. So that's what Spirit is really trying to convey to you at this time, is like, your mind is not going to, you have to live in your mind 24/7, right? So whatever you're thinking about is your life. That is your reality. And Spirit's just like, right now your reality is really sharp in the head and not pleasant. So yeah, how can we bring that to peace? I'm seeing like an ending too. Like, how can we bring some of these old narratives that we've had about ourselves, maybe perfectionist tendencies, or I'm getting a lot of different energies for you guys, but so it could be everyone has kind of like a different experience of this overall energy. But yeah, just know that your thoughts are powerful. They can manifest things, and we want to get you into a mindset that's a little healthier. Old narratives that aren't serving you anymore, it's time for them to be done, because you're stepping into this new energy that can be a lot more pleasant. And we can't change the past, so there's some things that will haunt us forever. Sometimes that's just how it is. But just know that you can still write your story, even within the constraints of what past you has put you in, so change can always be initiated by you. So I'm feeling very hopeful energy. It feels like you're kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and you still have to get through the tunnel, but at least you see the light now. It's not always the dark. So it seems like you've been moving through a big movement of some kind, a big healing movement within your life that's like taken you a long time. So Spirit's just like, hey, you've done good. You can chill a little bit now, and think about what you've wanted to change in the past, get to the root of why, and then from there let it go, so you can just be like, okay, well, I know that I don't want to do this again because of this, and now I can surrender that and live my life, so to the best you can. Yeah, I'm just keeping, like, there's some of you out there that's like really intense, this thing that it's like, well, Bren, like, how can I ever forgive myself for that? Or like, I can never undo the harm that I've done to someone. I can never take it back. It's really heavy. And again, you just have to, your task is to honor that, and just be like, well, how much do I really deserve to suffer over that thing that I can't change anymore? Like, how can I now instead just take action moving forward in a more aligned way? So I hope that resonates with you. I'm definitely feeling for some of you, it seems pretty specific. So for those of you who this is a specific message for, I hope you love that. But anyway, now we get the lucky chicken bowl. And basically I'm going to just, it's full of good luck charms. So now I'm going to choose for you a charm at random. I forgot like what's in here, so I don't even really know. I know there's animals in here. I know there's like some toys and things like that. But, oh, I love that. You got a lucky paper star. I'll show it to you if you can see it. It's a paper star that I made. I made this for the Aquarius new moon of this year, 2025. So again, it doesn't matter when you're watching this, it's a timeless reading, but if you're looking for a timeline of some kind, maybe the Aquarius full moon or the Aquarius new moon might be impactful for you. So that would be August or January-ish if you're looking for a timeline, maybe a timeline of when this situation that you're asking about or like what you're thinking about will be put to rest finally. So it's also about this lucky star. Like, Aquarius is the star card, right? Aquarius is about your dreams. It's about futurism. It's about imagining something unique and grander than it is. And I'm feeling that for you, especially it being pink. It is a pink color. That's about following your heart. So your good luck to you, like, good luck. And you might even want to make your own little paper star. They're super easy. You make them from a strip of paper. But I'm seeing for you, like, your good luck's going to be coming from dreaming big and dreaming about a possibility that will serve you rather than dwelling on what's already happened that hasn't made you happy. You know, this is about new possibilities. We're all made of stardust, you know? So like, how can you find that inner stardust within yourself to continue healing and to take care of yourself and rest a little bit more? Yeah. I feel like there's a new beginning coming for you. You just have to also believe that it is there, because it seems like your biggest enemy is your own mind. So no one can change that except for you. You know, you might not be able to change your circumstances necessarily, but you can always change your perspective about it. So, and remember that things don't last forever. So there is an end to everything. So even if you're in a situation right now that you're not stoked about because of a past decision that you've made, just know that it won't last forever. It really won't. You have many lifetimes, if you believe that, to live different lives. And you can live more than one lifetime within one body. So if this is like, maybe this is your invitation to like start a new life within your body, within this lifetime, you know? They're like, I'm starting new, starting from scratch. You're not really ever starting from scratch, but you know what I mean? So really powerful messages. I hope that these serves you well. If you have any questions, you're welcome to comment. My name is Bren. I'm always happy to give you readings. I also do personalized astrology and tarot readings, both in person and online. So if you're interested in getting a more specific reading from me, you can book with me with the details in the description box. So thanks. Wishing you the best. Hello, group number 5s. Last but not least, you are a group number 5 if you picked this blue card with a graduation cap on top and this Lapiz Lazuli. It is not Sola-Lite. Lapiz Lazuli. Very beautiful card. So right off the bat, a message that I'm getting for you is strong communication. Your words have a lot of weight right now. So keep that in mind as you express your needs. Keep that in mind as you move through life for the next, let's say 2 weeks. 2 weeks specifically. It could be bigger than that, but let's say really for the next 2 weeks, be really mindful about your words and how you're expressing yourself. You could even do more singing mantras. You just also be careful about what you're singing, because sometimes lyrics can be things that you don't want to bring into your immediate existence, I guess, because words are powerful. They're spells, right? So they can manifest things. So if you're singing about something that you don't want to manifest or something, or like something lower vibrational, you just might want to be cautious just because you're extra sensitive right now. So yeah, that's why you'd want to sing stuff like about like, yeah, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. You know, things that are like hyping you up and being like, yeah, instead of like things that you don't want. That is a message for you. You're the only group that got a message like that. So how exciting is that? So on the back of every card, you also have a question, and this is for you to sit with, okay? So your question is, what do people say you can't do? What do people say you can't do? That's a loaded question now, isn't it? For you, I'm feeling a little bit more playful than the other groups. There was some heaviness in in these readings, I'm not gonna lie. Which is kind of funny because, again, this reading is during a full moon Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius is very playful and fun, although the moon's in Capricorn at this point, so I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But again, timeless reading. It's coming to you when you need it. So what do people say you can't do? That's something to reflect on. I am seeing this as a little bit more playful, though, like, oh, you can't do that. Like, you can't jaywalk across the street. And you're just kind of like, well, watch me. I'm doing it, you know? So I feel like this is the main message for you within your specific group, is to playfully bend the rules. I love that. You guys are supposed to be playfully bending the rules. I love that, because rules are arbitrary, right? jaywalking is more acceptable in certain countries than others. For example, it can be like a prison sentence. I don't know if that's true, actually. Maybe it is. It could be a prison sentence somewhere, but in other places it's like, whatever, it's not a big deal, you know? So just remember that rules are arbitrary, and it's up to you to really decide, well, what rules align with your values and what rules do you want to follow? Because some rules are put into place that don't align with your values, and why should you follow them then? You know, you want to obviously be cautious about, like, you know, certain rules, like don't murder people. That's good. That's a good rule to have. I would not murder people. I think that's not an appropriate way to use your free will. But, you know, within your value system, which hopefully is ethical. But again, like, what rules are ethical? You know, like, some people think that murder, this is getting like intense dark, but anyway, some people think murder is justified for certain circumstances, and like, you know, that's their belief system. So again, let's not murder people. That is a very extreme example, but you know, playfully bend the rules. That was a long way to just reconfirm that. And again, today we're talking about relationships specifically. Well, specifically, we're actually talking about commitment with Juno. But also themes of relatedness, power within relationships. So just keep in mind that I'm getting like a little block. My bad. You're the last reading. I'm sorry. You're getting a little bit of the fried brain here, but yeah, we'll restart that. But yeah, this is like, what do people say you can't do? So this is specifically people that you're in relationship with, maybe closer. So like a roommate, a partner, a parent, a sibling, you know, those are the kind of people that like you're wanting to really like lock in on. Like, what are these people saying you can't do? Are they saying it because they actually believe that you can't do it? Or are they being playful? Are they fueling you though too? Because sometimes our biggest haters, or like people who are against us, are like, you can't do that. You know, they actually fuel us the most. So who are those people in your life? Who's giving you fuel? That's something that Spirit really wants you to get clear on right now. Because again, looking at the bigger picture, that's the theme of this reading, is going to serve you a lot. So yeah, I'm feeling like a really like cloudy energy for you. So I don't know if you're distracted or if you have just a lot of thoughts about this. I'm like tuning into a lot of frazzle energy. So if that resonates with you, then this reading is definitely for you. And if it doesn't, maybe pick a different pile. That's totally fine. So the card clarification that I got for you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is a 10 of cups right there. That is quite a nice card, if I don't say so myself. I mean, 10 of Cups is one of my favorite cards because it does signify emotional fulfillment. This is the happily ever after, right? The imagery of this card is really interesting because it's solitary. In the other decks that I use, there's usually, you know, traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck has like an image of a family with a bunch of cups and a rainbow, you know, like happily ever after, very much like, but a family. And so this is very much like a soul person. This is like a single person finding their emotional happiness within themselves. So for you, you know, if you're getting doubts or anything from other people in your life, this is just kind of confirmation telling you like only you can find that emotional happy ever after for yourself, you know, because you're the one who's choosing where to put your cups, right? If you invest your cup in a person who's not investing in you, that's not going to be your happily ever after, right? You want someone who can reciprocate, or even if they're, you know, even if you give them when they're down on their luck, when they're better off, you know, then they can give you something. Or I'm seeing a lot of like necessary reciprocity for you. There might be some relationships out of balance. And you might also want to maybe watch group number 3 because they were getting some similar messages if this is resonating with you relationship wise specifically. But for you, I'm definitely seeing like finding your happiness without too much codependence. Like, yeah, you've got to, this is just, I don't know if you've been through a breakup recently. I don't know if you're like in a moment of more empowered independence, but I'm just seeing a lot of independent energy for you, specifically like emotionally. You can take care of yourself. Maybe you have a therapist. Maybe you're also, you know, you have a pretty good support system. Like emotionally, you're taking care of yourself and you're not taking on too much of other people's shit. That's kind of what I'm feeling for you. It's like, and if you are, this is spirit telling you, we really need you to be interdependent rather than codependent, right? And you need the people in your life to also be interdependent rather than codependent. And what's the difference? Codependent is like, if I'm leaning on you, it might with my entire body weight, and if you moved, I'm gonna fall down, like guaranteed. That's codependence. Whereas like interdependence is like, if we're, you know, standing together, maybe I'm like I'm leaning my head on you in support, but if you left, I wouldn't fall down. You know, I'm interdependent, but I also have, you know, another friend who can catch me or something. You know, codependence is the less healthy version, because we are humans, right? We are networking kind of people. We are social beings, so we do need some sort of connectedness. So even within any type of independence, you are connected at some point. Even someone who lives completely alone and all that stuff, they still need to pay someone to do their electricity or something, you know? Like, we're never truly ever independent. We can never birth ourselves. Even someone in the woods who lives completely alone or whatever is relying on some sort of network, like the nature environment, or they had to be born by someone, you know. There's no such thing as a completely solitary life, right? So keep that in mind. You need to be independent, but also lean on the right people and make sure that it feels balanced. Okay? Yeah. That's the message I'm getting for you with that. And then the fun part, we get to open the chicken. So in the chicken, we have a bunch of good luck charms, and this is going to tell you what is going to be bringing you good luck moving forward. So I'm just going to randomly pick this one feels right. Oh my gosh, you feel like it's a little, you might not be able to see it. It's a koala. A mama koala with like a little baby koala on the back. It's so cute. I feel like that's interesting to come up too, because parenthood did come up for your group specifically. Nurturing energy. Some other groups were like that too. But what I'm seeing is like, the baby on this koala is dependent. Like, the baby is dependent, and you have to know, like, your good luck is going to come from knowing when you need to fully support someone. So maybe you do have kids and you're like, no, they are fully codependent on me right now, because you can't leave a baby alone. They can't just raise themselves, you know? So I feel like your good luck is going to be from having that discernment of like, who in my life do I need to provide for? Again, up until a certain point, because babies do grow up and they will not need you forever, because that is too much. But like, who in your life is like a grown ass koala trying to like crawl on your back, you know what I mean? And like have you carry the load. Some of you might be like, I'm honestly imagining like a mother with a baby, or a small child of some kind who needs her support, but then also a husband or a partner who's just like not pulling their weight at all. And they're just like another baby basically on the back. And it's like, okay, this literal baby actually needs my tit and you do not. Like, you can go find your own nourishment somewhere else, you know, but this baby, this baby actually needs me. Like, you're a grown ass adult. Like, you can go take care of yourself. You know what I mean? So boundaries have been coming up a lot with this collective reading, like collectively within all of these readings and all these piles. So I would just recommend like setting more boundaries with people who might be draining your life force, especially emotionally, since you're the cups person, but also appreciating where you're at. Like, you have a lot to be grateful for. You have a lot to be you have a lot of resources to pull from, even if you don't feel like it, or like even if you don't sense it. Like, you do have resources. It's just about tapping into that. You will maybe need to ask for help when you need it, you know? And I think that goes back to this question too of like, What do people say you can't do? Well, and also with the graduation cap on the back too, I feel like you are reaching this milestone within your life of like, I actually can set boundaries and I don't actually have to do life. Like I've graduated some of these lessons, so I don't need to be repeating them with different people. You know, it's like if you're finally putting to rest like deadbeat baby daddies or whatever, like prove it by saying no. Like, no, I'm not going to let you leech off of me. I'm feeling leech energy. There's someone leeching off of you. And it's like, again, kids, it makes sense. But also, even kids, you need boundaries with. Especially, yeah, for your own sake. Again, like we are going to be thinking about that metaphor about putting on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Because if you are drowning, you can't save someone else's life, you know? So both you and child are going to be suffering if you don't take care of yourself. So you have to take care of yourself first. That is who you're committing to first. And then from there you can kind of evaluate, okay, who in my circle am I willing to commit to on a deeper level? Who's committing to me? And yeah, who's telling you what you can't do? And who's telling you what you can? You know, who's encouraging you? Who's not? These are things to take seriously right now because you're entering this new chapter of life of your happily ever after. And people are just gonna... Spirit is like giving me the most rank freaking visualizations for you, but I'm just going to tell you because it's coming up. But like you have 10 full cups of the most delicious water that you could ever think of. Pure, so much. It's so much to go off of, right? But if you let the wrong people in, they're going to be pissing in your cups. They're literally like going to make your healthy, nice water into something undrinkable, unsustainable, and then you're going to be left with not that much. So just take that seriously. Take that really seriously as we move forward, especially in the next 2 weeks, about like who's filling your cup, who's draining it, and then who's pissing in your cup. You know, there's a difference. Like, I feel like someone just draining your cup is like a little less worse, I guess. It's not good, but again, like say your baby needs some water, like yeah, you're gonna empty some of your cup for your baby, you know what I mean? But if someone's just like being reckless and not appreciating you and pissing in your cups, it's like, no, I'm not gonna put up with that. You can go, you know? And also the more that you set boundaries with people, the more that they actually should respect you. And if they don't, then they don't deserve to be in your life, especially if they're, I mean, your boundaries have to be reasonable, obviously, but yeah, I just feeling for you, like you're fed up with like anyone who's not going to be feeding into your abundance that you already have. No, especially if they don't appreciate it. You need to be filled with people who are grateful and appreciative because you have a lot to give. So definitely give what you can where you can, but again, make sure that you're giving to the people that will be grateful and who will not piss in your cup. So those are the messages I have for you. I hope that this reading was helpful for you. My name is Bren and I do professional astrological and tarot readings professionally one-on-one. So if you would like to book a private reading with me, something a little more personal, please do. I have more info about how to book with me in the description box. So thank you so much for listening and I'll see you later.